What's up, film family? Welcome to the Film Room Podcast. My name is Scott.
My name's Dion.
And today, with Ballerina coming out next week, we're doing John Wick, the franchise, the action franchise that Ballerina's coming from. But I read that I think it's supposed to be set between 2 and 3.
Yeah,
Did you
it's
even know
kind of.
about that?
I didn't at first. I just assumed it was like a prequel, or then it was like a movie that's coming afterwards. But I did see it was in between, but I didn't see which movies it's in between.
I think 2 and 3.
Okay.
But I didn't even know it was in between. I figured it was just after,
Mm.
especially just because like Keanu is going to be in it. Like, I don't know to what degree,
Yeah.
but I mean, he's a human, so he's aging, right? So like, I
Yeah.
figured like he's going to look older. So trying to wedge it in backwards in the story.
Oh yeah, no, that's
I don't know.
true.
I mean, obviously you can do de-aging, but I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
But I also feel like Keanu, especially with the look he has, especially because he's like the jet black hair and like the jet black beard. I think it's pretty. I think you could hide the age thing pretty well.
Just color his hair and you're good.
Yeah, because he's not like he's so old. Like it's not like it's like Harrison Ford trying to pretend like he's Indiana Jones. You know, he's not. It's not that big of a time jump.
That's true.
He doesn't look that. He probably looks a little bit older, but it's not like really apparent. Where it's like, okay, like there's no way this guy is like. I don't even really know how old John Wick is. Is there ever like a?
Apparently, I read that he's supposed to be around 35 in this one.
Okay.
Which is the first one.
Yeah.
So if it's set between 2 and 3, and apparently 2 is supposed to be very nearly after the first one.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Have you seen 2?
I've seen 2, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, it makes sense the way it goes right into it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but I haven't seen 3 and 4 yet. I got to
Okay.
watch those before we do Ballerina. But
Mhm.
so, like, between 2 and 3, if there's obviously got to be a little bit of a time jump for whatever Ballerina is going to be. I suppose it could be one of those movies that takes place like in a day or over a weekend.
No, that's true.
I guess
No,
we'll
100%. But a dude 35, a dude could be like 35 can look like 35 until like 50, honestly. Not many people change.
Yeah.
that much.
Keanu wasn't 35 when this movie was made,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
the character was 35.
Yeah, 100%.
So if you're new around here, Dion and I, we're going to just have a conversation around the movie, give our thoughts, give our opinions. We're going to have some facts. And of course, we're going to get to our Filmmies at the end, which is our award show that we do every week. So my first question, I mean, we were talking about Keanu, but I wanted to ask you about his kind of him as a whole. Like, are you a big fan of him? You know, he had The Matrix that came out in 99 to 2003. Then he kind of dipped into a lull.
Mhm.
He got some decent movies, and then this was kind of like a career resurgence for him. So
Yeah.
but one of the biggest action stars with those two heavy franchises.
Yeah.
What do you think of Keanu?
No, he's good. I mean, even before like he ended up getting to Matrix, he was in Point Break.
Yep.
And then he was also in Speed. And like after he did like Constantine, which is like people have a love-hate relationship with Constantine. Some people love it, some people hate it. But I do know your point. Yeah, he kind of like, especially because how big he was in the 90s, especially like he was like one of those guys. And like you said, he definitely took like a dip. Like that's when like more of like the Matt Damons and the Will Smiths, those guys were definitely getting into it, and like the Brads, and like people weren't like putting him in that category anymore because those guys were just like running, and Keanu wasn't really on the same level. I think maybe he thought Constantine was gonna get there, where he's gonna be like, this is like my next thing. But I still think I like Keanu though. I think he's awesome, and it's just crazy to think that he went from Matrix to this, like two badasses.
Yeah, yeah, like two.
It's rare.
But that's what I mean. Like you have, and then in between, you kind of have some like okay movies, maybe.
Yeah.
Like you said, like some people have a love-hate relationship with some of these movies, but like two of the biggest action franchises with the same guy, like that's impressive. Like if you think of, we just did Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise. Like he doesn't have a second action franchise that's also as big as Mission Impossible. I wouldn't even say that this is as big as Mission Impossible, but there's also less movies. Yeah. But I mean, like if you think of the big franchises of action franchises, you know, they have their lead guy. If it's Tom Cruise, this one's Keanu. You know, you have Matt Damon, I guess, with the Bourne. You have 007, but those are IP.
Yeah.
But like to lead two completely separate franchises, this is like LeBron winning a championship on 3 different teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you say this is IP, but what's the difference between the Mission Impossible and Bourne? Because you're saying the Bourne thing is IP. but so was Mission
No, I meant
Impossible.
007. I meant
Oh,
007.
007. Okay. I mean, and then I even mentioned Indiana Jones too. I
Yeah,
think he's in rare air of like usually you get one thing. It's like you're Indiana Jones, that's
exactly.
your thing. You're Ethan Hunt, you're Jason Bourne. You know what it is? You get that one thing. And he got two.
Crazy.
Like it's that's very rare air. And like
I guess I will say, like, the Matrix isn't just about Neo. Like, yeah,
mhm,
he's like the one, and and
yeah.
he's the main guy. But like Jason Bourne is called the Bourne whatever.
Yeah.
I guess Mission Impossible isn't called Ethan Hunt, but like it's I don't know. I feel like the Matrix kind of has more around it than just Keanu,
Yeah.
and whereas like John Wick is John Wick.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But I mean, the story. What is the story without Neo? Really?
No, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it really is centered
It
around
really,
him.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
I guess you're right.
But
Yeah,
what
I don't know.
about you though?
It's
Like,
just a feeling. I don't know. No, yeah, I love Keanu. I mean,
okay.
especially like in these movies for what he is, like an action star. Like I think his acting, his delivery, he's very like cold and
Mhm.
serious, which is pretty typical for an action star.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He does it in a way that's almost like mean, but at
Mhm.
the same time, he you want to root for this guy and you seem
Yeah.
personable. Like when he's talking to other people or when he's fighting people, he's mean. But like you get the start of this movie where he has his connection with his wife and the dog and all this stuff, and it kind of softens him as a character. And then obviously when what happens to him, and he just
Mhm.
is going on a revenge spree, murdering everybody,
Yeah.
he's gonna be mean. But I think like his I don't know. I like the way he does with this character specifically.
Yeah, no, there's definitely it's a good balance of different tones. You know what I mean? Like in like there's a couple moments of like one moment like he's just a killing machine, and then one moment it's like, oh hey Phil, or whatever it
Yeah,
is. You know what I mean? Like
Jimmy.
he can come right back down and just be like, just come back down to earth and just be like the dude that he was when he left, and then when he needs to go right back into that mode of baby Yoda, he
Yeah.
can just go right into it, man.
I'm thinking I'm back.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You could go full Optimus Prime, and yeah, he's great. Um, okay, so I wanted to do something. We're gonna build a parlay.
Okay.
So I've built a parlay, and you're gonna
Yeah,
fill it
yeah.
out.
Okay.
So so I got a couple over unders and a couple picks, and you're just gonna fill out the ballot, and we're gonna see how
Okay.
you do. See if you can hit on
Yeah.
this parlay. So
Yeah.
the first the first bet is John Wick's kill count for the movie.
Okay.
I'm
Oh, do
setting
you
the
know what it is?
I know what it is.
Okay, you know all the numbers. Okay.
Yeah, I have the answers to all of these.
Okay, okay.
So I'm setting the over under at 69 and a half.
Oh, I'm gonna go under.
Okay. Should I do you think I should yeah, we'll fill out the whole ballot and then I'll give you the answers after.
Okay. All right, all
Okay.
right.
So you're
Yeah, yeah.
taking the under,
I'm taking the under.
on John Wick's kill count, 69 and a half. Okay. Who is the first person to call him the Baba Yaga?
Ooh. Was it was it Vigo?
I don't know. It was a Vigo.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't tell you that now.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what I'm asking. That's my answer.
Vigo, okay.
Vigo, yeah.
How many coins do we see on screen are spent during the movie? How many
Oh,
gold
snap.
coins?
That's crazy. Um
Oh, sorry, I have an over under.
oh, okay.
The
Yeah, I was gonna
over Yeah,
say.
my bad.
Damn.
The over under is set at 18 and a half.
How many we see that's spent on
Yeah,
screen?
so yeah, how many do we see
Okay.
change hands in the movie?
It didn't seem like that many. I'm gonna go under again.
Under?
Yeah, I'm gonna go under 18.
Okay. I got two more.
Okay.
So, how long is the first action scene at his house when he kills 12 people in this scene? And I have an over under as well, set at 3 minutes. Is it
Oh, I'm gonna go over.
over 3 minutes?
I'm gonna go over 3 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. And finally, which movie, like 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
has the highest kill count?
Mm. I think it's 4. I'm gonna go 4.
4.
Yeah.
All right. So Dion, you did not hit on your parlay.
Ah, damn it.
You got two wrong. You got two wrong.
Ah, what
Nope.
was that? Wait, what?
Yes, you did get two wrong. You got
Oh,
two
okay.
wrong.
What were the answers?
So you took the under on the kill count for this movie at 69 and a half,
Yeah.
77.
Ah, damn it,
77
man.
bodies in this
Okay.
movie.
All right.
I don't blame you though. That's kind of why I set it under, because when I was looking up the numbers, I was like, okay, I'm gonna see what I feel if it
Mhm.
was less or more, and then that's what I'm gonna set the line at.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel like that much either
It
to me.
didn't. That's why I was like 60. I'm like trying to remember all the scenes. I'm like,
Well, I mean, because I think what it was is, even if you forget like the church scene, right? He
mhm.
goes in, kills a few people in there, and then he goes downstairs, kills like five more guys down
Yeah.
there, and you know what I mean? Like little things like that, they add up.
Yeah. I think the red circle is probably what the
That's
number
the
I'm
most
not,
of it for sure.
yeah, I'm
It's
not
got to be.
realizing how many people. Yeah. Damn. Okay. That's a lot.
Yep. Who was the first person to call him the Baba Yaga? It was Vigo.
Okay.
Nice work.
Yeah. I felt confident about that one.
Nice work. How many coins are spent on screen? You took the under at 18 and a half. You were correct. It was 16.
Oof. Okay. Good. Yeah. Because
There
I was going to
was
say, I don't remember that many exchanges.
So there was 16. There was 12 to clean the 12 bodies at his house
Ah,
in that
okay.
first scene.
Mm.
One to get into the Continental bar and get Losif's location. He puts it in the slot and the guy opens the
Mm.
door. He gives one to the hotel, like the
Okay.
the guy at the
Yeah.
front desk,
Yeah.
and one that he gives to Harry to watch Perkins, the catch
Yeah.
and release,
Mm.
and one more that what's his name, the Continental leader. I'm looking for his name, Winston,
Oh, Winston. Yeah.
gives to Charlie to clean up the last body, which is Perkins, after her membership's been revoked.
Mm. Okay.
Those are the 16 coins that we see spent in the first movie.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because I was like, was there a time besides the bodies that he like dished out a bunch of them? Because I remember for the most part it was just like
Yeah,
one, like
that was
couple
a
here and there.
stack.
Yeah,
See, I have a question about this. What is the value?
yeah. I
It's
don't know.
questionable. It's
I don't know.
like 12 bodies is 12, like a coin a body. Sure, I get it. Makes
Yeah,
sense. But 2 whole nights at a hotel is one.
I don't know, man. I
Like
don't know
that's
the
like
value.
Charlie's got to be stacking.
Yeah,
If like think of how many people die in this movie. If he's getting one coin for each time,
yeah, that's true.
crazy.
That is a
The
good
value seems
point.
inconsistent. I don't know,
Yeah, I
man.
don't know. That's a good question.
I don't know. Okay, you said how long is the first action scene at his house? I set the over in at 3 minutes. You took the over. It was under. It's only 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Damn, didn't
I
feel that
thought the
quick.
exact same thing.
You thought it was over too?
Oh hell yeah!
Oh
Because
yeah, no, it didn't feel that quick.
I was like, how are we gonna? Because all the you remember the action from this movie, so you're like,
Yeah.
okay, that's a big part of this movie, and it is. But that scene, like, I went back and I timed it, 2 minutes 15, and I was like, no way, I got to set this at a higher. I got to set this
Yeah.
higher. There's no way he's getting that.
That's
So
insane.
two
Oh,
minutes and
you actually
15
went and
seconds to
timed it
kill 12
yourself, or
people.
you saw online it said that?
No, well, I went to the movie. Where when they start walking into his house before he
Yeah.
starts fighting the first guy,
Hmm.
clock the time, let it play out, and then after he kills the last guy, check the time, and it's 2 minutes 15 seconds.
Damn, that's
It's
crazy.
quick, dude.
That is wild.
I mean, he has the fight upstairs, he kills a few guys, jumps down, shoots that guy like through the wall.
Yeah,
That's fucking sick.
insane.
And then he has a like that hand-to-hand fight. The dude on the counter breaks his neck and then stabs the guy. It's pretty quick.
No, it is quick. That's crazy. No,
Yeah.
I'm really surprised by that. I
Yeah.
was like, when you said the time, I was like, okay, it's an easy one. He's giving me an easy one.
The easy one was like Vigo to me. Like who
Yeah.
said his name first? It's Vigo who's gassing him this whole entire movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and then which movie has the highest kill count? John Wick 4. You are correct. John Wick
Okay.
4 with 140.
Yeah. No, yeah. That one I felt pretty confident about too, because I was like, I just remember there's like some pretty big like kill scenes. Like
Well,
just like
the next one is close. It's number 2 with 128.
mm,
Not too far behind. And then 3 has 94, which gives us a total of 439 bodies
whew.
for a guy that's out of the game.
That's insane, man.
All right. So, what is your kind of your favorite aspect? Is I mean, with the underground and the coins and the continental, like all this stuff is to me kind of what sets this movie apart.
Hmm.
What do you think about that aspect of this whole movie? Like, it's not just an action movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, you mean like, oh, just like of the lore, I guess, of the movie? Like
Yeah, yeah.
what part? I mean, I guess that I kind of say it within that of what it actually is my favorite part of about the movie is just the lore. Like we were kind of talking about a lot of it too. Just like the fact that like one thing I really like is, and I almost forget it because I haven't watched like the first one in a bit. All the other ones are more fresh in my mind, but it's just like the little things of like when he kills those 12 guys and he calls them, he's like, I got a reservation for 12, and I'm just like, okay, he's going to eat dinner or whatever, and the guy comes just clean, and I'm just like, oh, that's awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just like these little creative things where it's just like it's the you appreciate the effort that they put into it because you could have just had him be like, "Hey, I need you to clean up these 12 guys for me," and then move on, and he can come and move, and him hand him the coins and move on. But it's just a thing like, how can we be different? Like, what's like a cool way we can get him to get like, what's a code word? Like, what's this little thing we can do? And I just appreciate that. It's like that's one of the things that I feel like is really good about these movies. It's like the attention to detail on just trying to make it seem like this world is so different than what you're used to seeing.
Yeah, I think it's a way because this world is like hidden, right? Like it's
Yeah.
hidden in plain sight. Like they're not. It's not like those typical action movies that I would say where all the action is always just in these abandoned warehouses. There is
Yeah.
one, I guess, where he's tied up in an abandoned warehouse, but for the most part, like they're at a club, they're at his
Yeah.
house. The cop even shows up. They're like so they're in the public, but they have this is how they kind of work in the shadows is with these code words and like
Yeah.
this kind of unwritten rules, kind of the the continental and the
Yeah.
so that stuff is so cool about this movie because you're right. They could just say, "Yeah, I gotta come clean up these bodies." I mean, for the most part, in every movie, they don't even show that stuff. Like
Yeah,
they
no, it's
just kill a
true.
bunch of people and like you just move on to the next thing. Like,
Yeah.
but it's a good way of kind of answering those questions where you're like, "How did this guy go and kill a bunch of people in a club and just like walk away?" And nobody,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And nobody does anything about it. But you work in these aspects of the movie that you can kind of point to and be like, "No, they have a cleaning service. They have, a hotel where they can't kill each other, like a safe space. They have like
Yeah.
all these rules and like it just works."
No, 100%. What about you? Is it a similar kind of thing
Oh,
with
absolutely.
your
Yeah. This
yeah.
because I mean the action is in this movie is great.
Mhm.
100% it is. Like the realness of the action, like John Wick isn't like a superhero.
Yeah.
Like even we were talking about, Mission Impossible, like Ethan Hunt's kind of a superhero.
Yeah.
Like he does things that aren't really realistic. John Wick doesn't really do anything that like a normal person can do. Obviously, he's super well trained and
Yeah.
everything, but like it's not like he's taking bullets and just walking it off. I mean, I guess he does. Does get some pretty big damage and keeps fighting through, but like it's
Yeah.
with adrenaline going, and they even give him drugs and at one point, so like it's totally feasible. And the way he's the hand hand combat and Keanu with it reloading guns and all that stuff, it's great.
Yeah. And like to go to your point too, it's just like in the sense of when we're talking about a lot of those other like action stars and stuff like that, especially the in this one, especially when he gets thrown off the top of the
Mm.
thing, like he gets friggin' FU'd. Shout out John Cena onto the floor, and you're just like, oh man, I'm like, there's no he's walking that off, and he doesn't walk it off. Like he's limping, he's just like he's messed up. And then it's the realistic thing of like he goes to the doctor and he's like he gives him the stitches or whatever, and he's like, yeah, you should be like good, you should be mobile, but like if you're gonna fight, uh, you're gonna bleed,
Right.
but like take this and you should be okay. But yeah, you're gonna bleed.
Yeah.
It's like you usually don't get those kind of moments. Usually, like your superhero or whatever guy kind of just like brushes it off, whatever. Normally, like he doesn't even like it gets acknowledged or whatever. He just maybe takes a swig of something, and he does take a swig. He's like anything for the pain. It's like this will help.
Yeah.
It's like
I
oh,
got
I'm
it.
covered, which
But
is
you're right. Like they stitch it up and then they just keep going with the movie and going to walking to the next fight the next day like nothing ever happened. Like he's
yeah,
even lying in the hotel. He's got his arm in a sling and he's all
yeah,
bloodied up. Like it's not real, but it's real. It's
yeah. No,
it's grounded.
exactly.
It's
They try
grounded
to
is the
ground
word.
it as much as you can.
Yeah, but also make it look insane.
Oh yeah,
So like the fact that you could take this grounded style and make the action so good is really impressive. And I
yeah.
give credit to Chad Stahelski,
Hmm.
who is the director.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's actually an uncredited co-director.
Yeah.
David Leitch.
Leech.
Leach. I don't
Yeah.
know why he would be uncredited. Like, kind of, I don't know the politics maybe behind
Yeah, I
that,
don't
but
know.
like that's weird. But these guys are they're his stunt guys from The Matrix, so they're
Yeah.
basically just the action directors.
Yeah. No, I remember hearing about that. I remember when like the movie first came out. I think they were kind of like, I wouldn't say that was the push, but that was being talked about. It's just like, oh, like there's a stunt guy making kind of like a stunt kind of movie. Like there's gonna be a lot of stunts on this, and I think that was like the appeal of it because I mean, there always been a lot of CGI and stuff, but I guess like at the time this was kind of differing itself from like the Marvel movies where it's like we're like seeing these actions, but it's a lot of CGI action stuff like that. But it's like we're gonna actually have guys like actually fighting in this. We're gonna actually get a lot of stunt actors. And they're gonna be doing the fights and stuff like that. And I remember that was kind of like the push. And then yeah, no, for some reason he didn't get he got the uncredited
Yeah, I don't
version of
know.
it. Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't know
know.
why.
I don't know. All right, should we get to our family meeting?
Let's hear from the family.
I don't have friends. I got family.
Hey. All right, let's hear from the film family. This is where we have our listeners join in on the show. And this week I asked the question, other than the action, what's your favorite part of this movie? And we already kind of just answered that, talking about,
Yeah.
the world, the underground, the
Mhm.
continental, that kind of stuff. We have our boy, actually we have both Kobe's that answered the question this week.
Yeah.
So Kobe, no relation. We need that distinction. Said not just in this movie, but in the franchise, the subtle world building is a really dope aspect. So kind of what we were just talking about, like the continental, the unwritten rules. Actually, there's a point in this movie where before he goes into the red circle, there's the security guard,
Yeah.
right? He puts the gun to his head and he's like, "Oh, you're still working?" And then he says, "Oh, hey John, you're back." He says,
Yeah.
"Oh, you lost weight." He says, "Yeah, 60 kilograms." Apparently, that's supposed to be like him telling him in code that
Mhm.
there's 60 people inside.
Yeah, I saw that because like the thing that got me about that scene is I mean, I don't know if you recognize, but that's Kevin
Kevin
Nash.
Nash, yeah.
Yeah, so when I saw, I was like, oh, I forgot Kevin Nash in this movie. So then I looked it up. I was like, what Kevin Nash on like his time in John Wick, and he mentioned in an interview, like he
Yeah.
was the one that said that. He's like, he's like, people thought I was talking about my weight, but like, no, that was me giving him like the nod, saying that like, no, there's 60 guys in there, and that's why he let me go.
Right.
And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "That's cool."
I
I
know.
didn't that was a I watched the movie and I literally just thought it was like, "Oh, this guy was, like, big before, and now he's like,
Right.
oh, you lost weight." Like, they were friends or something, but
Which is crazy because 60 kilograms is a lot of weight. And he
yeah,
was
it's like
already a
100.
massive dude.
That's what I'm
So like, he
saying.
would have been gigantic if he actually
Yeah.
lost 60 kilos. But I mean, it's cool to kind of, this is one of the, another aspect of this movie that I really like is kind of John Wick's legendary background.
Yeah.
And they do a good job of not showing it to us because they kind of like, you can almost never live up to the legendary status that you put in your mind, you can make up in your own mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we have Vigo that the whole movie is like, this guy's a badass. He killed
Yeah.
3 people with a pencil. Like this guy
Yeah.
is not to be fucked with.
Mhm.
So in your brain, you're like, holy shit, this guy is him. He's a
Yeah.
problem. Like, and you can't live up to that in the past, but the action that we do see does live up to it. And you can just imagine what it was like. So like, I thought it was kind of just another one of those aspects of his past being like, oh, he has a past with this guy, with Kevin Nash, right? Like he
Yeah.
has a connection to him. He did some job with him or whatever, but no,
Mhm.
apparently it's the code thing.
Yeah. No, which is really cool, and it's like it's a thing that's, like, appreciated sometimes in the sense of like it's all sometimes it's all actually just better to not actually show us the thing, like just build up the legend and not show it to us, because it kind of sits there and it's like, oh, that's cool, because I'm not a huge Star Wars guy, but I feel like I have heard some people complain in the sense of them saying that like when we got the first couple of movies, there was all like this aura of like, oh man, like this guy went on this crazy thing, this guy did all this
Vader,
stuff.
you're talking
Yeah,
about?
or just everybody. Like, because
Mm.
now everybody has a show.
Yeah.
Every like Obi-Wan, freaking Andor, like everyone's
Han
got a show. So it's
Solo,
like exactly
everybody.
Han Solo got a movie, and it's just like, oh, like in the movies, like we heard about them doing these legendary things, or whatever, and then like you show it to us, and it's like, oh, like I actually imagined it kind of being crazy in my head.
Right.
Like if they showed us like the pencil scene or whatever, like whatever is already in our head about him killing 3 guys with a pencil, I'm like, that's insane. But if you show it to us, it's kind of underwhelming. Then you go back and watch the first movie, and you're like, oh yeah, that pencil scene, like he's hyping it up here, but actually they showed it to us. Actually, isn't that crazy? Like just leave it be. Like
Yeah.
just let it. It's crazier when you just imagine it in your head, because everyone's gonna have their own crazy interpretation. But then when you actually put it there, it's like, oh, that's actually. I actually imagine it being a little bit crazier.
Yeah, it's kind of like the what makes Jaws so good. I
Yeah.
remember you talked about our boy JB, Bong
Yeah.
Joon-ho. He did that in what's the name of the movie? I haven't seen it, but I remember
Oh,
you
The
telling me
Host.
about The Host. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you talk about it, but you don't show it, and you just in your mind you just build it up to be the scariest thing, and it's like unless it comes on screen like exactly the way you pictured it, you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah. No,
And there's no way
exactly.
that's going to happen.
Exactly.
Next we got Kobe, relation, who said a similar thing. Definitely
Yeah.
the world, the mystery of a shady underground world is a character in and of itself.
Yeah.
Totally agree. We have our boy Jay Chinaz said the
Shout
bullet
out.
count / reload rate is accurate to real life. Directors paid attention to detail.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's
No,
pretty cool. We were
and that
talking about
is
the kind of the groundedness of the action. So
yeah, and just the attention to detail too. It's like
Mhm.
that is another part about it that's really great. It's just how they you just don't you're not used to seeing reloads. You just see like your action star just shoot, and then maybe the gun falls out of his hand, but it's not like he's ditching it because oh shoot, I'm out of bullets, now I need to get something else. Or it's just like I'm in trouble. It's just like he'll shoot, and then he'll pull another gun out of his pocket and then out of his sock or whatever. It's just like he's got unlimited guns all around his body, and it's just there's never a worry about ammo. But in these movies, they actually have like there's worry about like, okay, now I'm gonna switch to this weapon. Okay, now I gotta do okay, now I gotta fight with my hands. Like, okay, what am I gonna do now? Like he's like, it's on even though he's focused and he's planned, it's there's certain things where it's like, oh well, yeah, everyone's got a plan to get punched in the mouth, like how's Mike Tyson.
Yep. Yeah.
You know what I
Well, they
mean?
like kind of on that note is the one where he throat punches the dude with the gun,
Yeah.
and he's kind of like stepping back, like touching his throat or whatever. Like it obviously hurts to get punched in the
Yeah.
throat with a gun.
Yeah.
And he stands there reloading the gun and then just shoots him in the face.
No, exactly. No, it's just it's a good point.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
all good points.
Well, we got one more.
Oh, okay.
Nerds to the Core. That's a
Okay,
cool
shout
name.
out.
They said the simplicity of the story.
Yeah.
I agree with that actually. I think the world, the underground, the action, kind of the way they hype and John up and the mythical kind of feel around him, all that is the best parts of this movie. And if you just have an over convoluted story, I feel like that just kind of gets in the way. So like the
Yeah.
fact that it's just okay, these guys, my wife died, they killed my dog, stole my car, I'm gonna kill them all. Simple as that. That's all we
Yeah.
need.
No, 100%. And it's just like you take just the simple structure and then you're like, how do we make it different? Like, how do we create this world? And how do we not over explain this world? Like, we give them pieces where it's like you want more. And like, they
Mhm.
didn't, and like, I feel like you give credit to them too, and then you don't really know how the movie's going to do, but they didn't try to end it in a way where it's like, um, there's definitely going to be a sequel. Like it could have just ended the way it ended. Obviously, it
Yeah.
didn't, and we ended up getting more movies. But then they also didn't try to jam everything in there where it was like, okay, well, we don't know if we're gonna get a sequel, so let's just like give them so much of this world. Let's just give them everything. It's like, oh, let's keep a little bit of mystery. Let's give them a little bit of this world because we don't get everything. There's so many like questions about this world. If you just watch this movie alone, there's so many things you could like turn and be like, who is this? Like, why? What happened? Like, what did
Mhm.
that cop see? Like, that cop knows John. Like,
Right.
what did he see? He's like, oh, you working again? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what are all these? There's so many different things. Like, what is this person's relationship to John? What's this person's relationship to John? It's just they added that mystery of it that just makes it so interesting.
I think another way that it's it's weird kind of to give credit for not doing something, but
Yeah.
in the sense we're talking about the simplicity of the story, like they could have easily gone international with this. John could have been flying to Russia, he's dealing with Vigo,
Yeah.
and the Russians, he could have gone to Russia and messed with all that.
No, it's a
Could
good
have
point.
gone to anywhere, right? He could have easily gone all over the world. They didn't do that. It's all taking place in New York City, so that's what keeps it kind of another way. It keeps it grounded, keeps the story simple. They don't need to go big, massive, take a shot, Fast and Furious on this and just go as big and as possible. Like you don't need that.
Yeah.
Keep it all in New York City and just go crazy, kill 77 dudes. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean they end up going there though. Wait till you see
Yeah, you're
the
right. Like,
fourth
as
one.
they continue
They
to
still
go, but
but I do agree with you in the sense of like I think they're probably thinking about, okay, Fast and Furious is going all over the place. The Bourne movies were like we're going all over Europe and stuff like that. Mission Impossible's done that. It's like we're not going to do that, guys. Let's just stay in one spot for now, because then when everyone's going to be like, hey, and James Bond, obviously,
yeah,
like everyone's going to be like, these guys are they're known for going all over the place. Let's just keep it contained, and we can slowly move as it makes sense. But like us them going to other places made them different. If we do it, then we're just doing exactly what they're doing. So like let's just keep it in this spot for now, and then we'll go on from there. But
yeah.
it's a good point that
And I
they
guess
kept it.
I will kind of, or I guess, retract my shot to Fast and Furious, because the first one is just in LA.
Yeah.
So, and
I
then we're
think
talking about the first one.
Yeah, no.
Second one is also just in LA.
And then we go to Tokyo.
And then
Different
we go to
crew
Tokyo.
though.
Yeah. Well,
But
I
for your
so yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. It's
hey, take a shot. There's your Fast and Furious
keep,
episode.
yeah,
There's your Fast and
drink.
Furious reference of the show. There should be a parlay. People should do a parlay on how many times we'll mention Fast and Furious in an episode.
There you go.
If we're doing an action movie, it's probably gonna get mentioned. That's what it really comes down to.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. We'll give ourselves a little bit of credit. This is an action movie. It's not like we're talking about Good Will Hunting and be like, man, Dom Toretto would be great in this movie. Actually, we got to go back and listen to the Good Will Hunting episode. Maybe we did mention
yeah.
somehow. All right, so my first point kind of on the start of this movie is, so his wife dies, she gives him the puppy. This puppy seems like it was born like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And when he's taking care of it, the first morning it wakes up and it like wakes him up and tells him to go outside. That's not what puppies do. That puppy is shitting all over his room.
Yeah, I know.
No
right?
chance.
No, it's so true. I was thinking the exact same thing too. I was just like, I'm like, this is a brand new puppy and it already knows to go out. Like,
bullshit.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I actually don't remember the dog being that young. I actually thought it was like a little, like she got almost like a rescue or something. Because that would have made more sense. At least it's like it knows to go outside.
Yeah.
This dog is brand new.
Yeah.
Brand new.
Not a chance it knows how to do that. And even like he takes it out of the crate and then they go to bed and it just like lies down and goes to sleep. No.
Yeah.
No.
I actually have a question for you about that. Like, okay. I know now that we're on the topic, like I know so many people online, like they'll have like I think it's in jest for the most part about them saying that like as we are now in the franchise, they're like, it's crazy to think that all this is because like someone killed his dog, which is like, obviously there's obviously more to that, but I'm just curious, like, what your thoughts are on like his motivations, like for like are you cool with it? Like, I don't know if
yeah. I mean, you take a guy who is a all-world assassin, and so he's totally okay with killing people, and you kill his wife in a very like emotional way too, right? It's not like the writer even mentioned what's the writer's name? I'll shout him out. Derek Kolstad.
Yeah.
He mentioned he focused a lot on the first act because he said, if you get the first act right, like his motivation and stuff like this, then the rest of the writing is just going to be easy. And I think he did a great job because he didn't just want her to, like, the assassin shoot his wife and now he's like, fuck the assassin, I gotta go kill this guy. But you kill her and like she gets sick or has a heart attack or something, and then the dog is a gift, so it's kind of like her personified kind of with this dog. And then they beat the shit out of him, steal his car, which is a dope ass car, kill the dog, and you immediately feel for the guy and you immediately have him on your side. Like, it'd be easy to have John Wick go and kill everybody and everyone's like, who? I don't want to root for this guy. He's just on a murder spree. You know what I mean? But like, no, that's the best way to get him on your side. Murder a little puppy. Who is okay with that? Nobody.
No, 100%.
Everyone sees that happen. Like, fuck those guys, kill those guys. I'm with you.
Yeah, no, it's a double whammy too, and it's just like, And not necessarily saying I didn't resonate with like the dog thing as much, but like especially after like my brother got like Chumba and stuff, like I feel like there it definitely is that line. Like there's the people that it's like, oh, like I like dogs, you've never had a dog, you've never really been in a situation where like there's a dog in your family kind of thing. But then once you get a dog, and obviously like I'm
Hmm.
sure your thought process on like dogs have changed too. Where it's just
Absolutely.
like that's your dog. That's your
It's
homie.
my
You know what I
dog.
mean? Like that's like and like you just form this bond with this dog. So you really understand. He didn't really get much time to form a relationship with it, but there was a little still something of like this dog's gonna help me grieve.
Yeah.
And I care about this dog. And then it's that connection where it's just like, oh, okay, screw these guys.
Yeah, he even says it to Vigo when Vigo
Yeah.
catches him, ties him up. He's like, "It was just a fucking dog," and he's like, "No, no, 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 no. This, I lost my wife. This was a chance to grieve on alone, and
Yeah.
he took that from me, stole that from me." But yeah, 100%. Like, and like I said, he before all this was a trained assassin, right?
Yeah.
I am not that. So like, if I'm like the equivalent for me, like say someone stole my car, my wife died, and they killed my dog.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna go and I'm gonna beat the shit out of that
Yeah.
person. I'm not gonna kill them because that's not who I am.
Yeah.
But like, this is who he is, so it makes
Hmm.
sense.
Yeah. Alexis Cheese, like, what? You're not gonna kill them?
Oh, sorry. Well, maybe. I don't know. If they keep talking shit, because that's the one thing too. Like Vigo calls him on the phone after he like messed up with Sonny. He's like, he doesn't even say sorry.
Yeah. No, it's true.
I was like, Vigo, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah,
Say
I
like,
know.
I'm sorry, my son, like he didn't know it was you. Like I apologize. Like he's just like, hey man, let's be men about this.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
It's like, nah.
nah.
Wrong move, yo.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Um, so then, so they come in and they beat the shit out of him, kill the
Yeah.
dog. We all get it. And then they leave his SUV, their SUV, put
Yeah.
the baseball bat into it, steal his car. And the next shot is him pulling up to Aurelio's in a bus.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, I'm not driving that piece of shit. Like I had this Ford Mustang, whatever it is, and I'm not driving this Hyundai Elantra. No,
That's a good
he'd
point.
rather bus instead of
I didn't
driving.
really make that connection, but that's so he's just like, yeah, I'm not driving that garbage.
Yeah, exactly. At the
It's-
first time I watched it, I remember I was like, oh, I guess like the bat in the windshield really messed him up. He's like, oh, I guess it can't see out of it. But I think it's more just like, no, I'm not driving that piece of shit.
Oh no, that's good. No, 100%. I didn't even make that connection, but that's 100%. It's like they're saying it without saying it. You just like,
Yeah.
honestly, they could have even done that. It's just like, nah, I'm not. Like you could open the door and be like, nah.
I actually read that in the writer said that they try to introduce a lot of black humor into this.
Oh really?
And I don't know why exactly. I think they just said it kind of fit the feeling that they were going for
Mhm.
with the movie. And I can see that kind of as like that piece kind of
Yeah.
like fits into that black humor a little bit where it's like, man, I ain't driving that piece of shit. I'd rather take the bus.
Oh, that's good though. I like
So
that.
then or what did you think of Aurelio, the mechanic? He was pretty dope. Like this guy would rather die
Yeah.
before messing with John Wick.
And again, it adds to that or the
Mhm.
aura or the lore of John Wick, where it's just like you get this from such an early point of like, I mean, he's already been being talked up, but then you get this guy that's we know that Vigo is a crime boss, and this is his son, and he's willing to punch this guy in the face because he's more afraid of John Wick than these guys. And
Yep.
up until this point, we're like, okay, I thought these guys are legit, and like they are legit, but the fact that he's okay with just punching that dude, and he's just like, man, you really messed up. You're like, oh damn, like how bad did this guy messed up?
And not only
Like,
that, the guy pulls the gun on him. He
Yeah.
grabs the gun, puts it to his forehead, and he's like, "Look, this is John Wick's car. So if you want me to like do my chop shop shit, get you clean papers and all this stuff, I'm gonna die. So either
Yeah.
pull the trigger right now and get it over with, or get the fuck out of my shop."
Yeah, no,
That was
100%.
tough. And you're right,
That-
it totally adds to the aura because we haven't even seen any action at this point. We haven't seen John fight.
Yeah.
We haven't seen shoot one bullet, lift a finger, nothing. And
No, for sure.
we already know how much of a badass he is just by the way that they're building this guy up. And then he follows it by Vigo calling him.
Mm.
Vigo calls and says, "So I heard you punched my son." He's like, "Yeah, Yes, I did, sir. May I ask why? Well, he stole John Wick's car, sir. Killed his dog. Oh,
Yeah,
hangs at
that
the
kill.
incredible, incredible,
Oh.
amazing. That's so perfect. Like just the way that they build up John Wick is like literally this movie is half gassing John Wick and half earning John Wick
Yeah,
earning
the
that.
gassing.
You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
100,
It's
100%.
perfect.
It's yeah, it's so good. Yeah, the O is great. The O.
Oh, he just understood. It's
And no other word was said.
yeah, because then the next seed is uh Losif comes in and Vigo gives him all the backstory on John Wick and is
Yeah.
giving us all the backstory on John Wick. Like I said, just gassing the shit out of him. This
Mhm.
is a great scene. What do
Oh
you have
yeah.
any thoughts on it?
Oh, it's good. I mean, I've seen so many edits out of it. Like it's just like there's a match cut of him hyping him up and slowly, and then it shows all the crazy action scenes like in a montage, and it's just like it's the perfect hype up. Like
Mhm.
if there was a rap song, you know what I mean? Like super, like put at the beginning of superheroes or super, and it's just like you have that build up going or before, and then the beat drops. Like it's a perfect build up. It's
I
just
feel
yeah,
like
no,
I feel like this whole movie is basically a long version of what you put at on the jumbotron at the start of a game. Like before a
yeah,
game
that's
starts,
so
you know what I
true.
mean?
Yeah,
Just
yeah, yeah.
talking up the team and then showing them like dunking on people and show the highlights. That's
Mhm.
literally what this movie is, and it's fucking awesome.
No, it's awesome, and I think one element of this movie too, which like I've kind of thought about it because it's always just like thinking about like what the appeal is. Like there's so many they make so many action movies like just in general, and
Hmm.
it's just like some stick, some don't. It's like, oh, we try to get this character going. It's like people like the movie, but they don't resonate it where it feels like we should make a sequel or it didn't resonate enough. But like the John Wick movies, I always kind of felt like they had like this kind of anime, like Japanese kind of style to it. And then I actually saw that Keanu said there was some inspiration with that. And like it kind of even ties back to the Matrix thing because then they made like an anime version,
Hmm.
like a little episodes thing. And it's like that kind of had like an anime kind of feel too of just like the way it's shot and just like the fighting. And to me, just the way it looks in the sense of like if you watch John Wick and you think and you're someone that watches anime and just think of like imagine this as an anime and it's like yeah it's so much like the way shots are because like an anime it's just like even someone just having like a talking scene will just be shot so intently where it's just like it'll be
Yeah.
like in the rain guy just like with his face he'll just be walking like almost just like very stoically and like there'll be like this crazy blue light behind him and like all like this movie has so much of that like when he's breaking the ground to get to his old stuff like that's
Tough.
such an anime
Yeah.
moment you know what I mean or it's just like these little moments of just like that could just literally just be like a shot of if it wasn't the style that they were going for he could just like broke into it and then them not try to make it as cinematic and just like visually stimulating as much as it was but they put so much effort into like every I almost like wonder if like I don't think they storyboard like every single shot in this movie but I'm sure there's so many times where there's like someone draws it out almost like an anime and we're like we're
Yeah.
gonna do it like this
Yeah. I mean, even the fact that they had him bury his guns and his coins and all that in the concrete. Like that could have easily just been like locked in a safe,
yeah
and he just like unlocks it, opens it up. But nah, they're gonna make him break his basement floor. Like how fucking dope is that?
yeah I
Like
know
they
it's
just
insane
they literally like your point about anime. It's a good point because I think anime is kind of the same in the sense of we're gonna lead you toward like yeah there's obviously there's story that happens
yeah
in the show but then like you're never just kind of walk into a fight. There's always going to be
no
lead up. You're going to have the two characters staring at each other for 10
yeah
minutes, talking shit or whatever, where you're basically like hyping up the audience, like, get ready for this crazy fight that we're about to
yeah
have. And
oh
that's what this movie
100%
is like we're leading you, we're talking about John Wick's crazy. This action is going to be nuts. Wait till we get there, and then we get the action scene, and
yeah
that's and then we just kind of do it again, and then we go to the next thing, and we're like, you mess with John Wick? Oh, you're fucked. Okay, how is he gonna get here? You're fucked. And then we get another action scene, and that's kind of what this movie is, and it's incredible.
Yeah, 100. And it's like that classic formula that happens in anime. And like the first thing I think of is like Naruto, just because that's one of like my favorite animes. Dragon Ball Z does this too, but Naruto, it's very much so where it's like, okay, this is your character. and like this is where he's going, but you're gonna watch him fight this person, and you
Mm,
think it's gonna be this person, but like actually, no, there's actually another big person after him that he's got to fight, and it's like
right.
okay, he's finally got because that was the thing in this movie that I felt very much like anime. It's like okay, we know what his goal is. He's gonna kill that kid and whatever, and he does, and it's like okay, you think it'd be roll to credits? It's like nah, there's even more to go. And like,
Yeah,
and I feel like anime is always really good at doing that, where it's just like you think that you're going this way, and it's like, no, there's more to be there's more to be done, and it's just like, wait, what? Like, it's yeah, no, it's just really well done. They apparently they were actually talking about doing like like an actually anime prequel.
that'd be sick.
Yeah, that would, that would be
That'd be
sick.
sick. Because that's a way, if you do it in an anime style, then you can have John Wick be kind of superhero ish in the way,
Yeah,
like he can do unrealistic things because it's not a human actor doing it, right?
yeah.
So, like, if we're talking about how, the killing three dudes with a pencil, you can make that insane
Oh
if you
my
do it in
goodness.
anime style.
Oh yeah. And like yeah, that's where the limits just go beyond any because I'm sure there's so many things where there's like because they want to try to do everything practical. They want to try to do as minimal CGI as possible in these movies. And they all the ideas that they probably wrote down and scrapped was like, I don't know if we could practically do that. They're like, put it in the anime
Yeah.
pile. They're
Yeah.
probably just stockpiling like that's for the anime. That's for the
Yep.
anime. This we could actually probably do. That's for the anime. And
Right.
like I really do want to see them if they get the right like artists because like some of the artists now like if you've ever watched like anybody just in general if you've ever watched like see like Demon Slayer some of these things like some of the clips of what they do now it's just and what we were seeing earlier, like Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, they're still awesome and they still hold up for what they are. But like now to see what they do, Attack on Titan too, I cannot mention that. It's just like
Mhm.
I'd be amazed. I'd be really interested to see what they could do with John Wick.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, something I read too was you're right. Some of the things like practically you can't do, but
Yeah.
also they were restrained by budget. I mean, you're always restrained
Mm,
by budget, but they had a pretty difficult time kind of getting money for this. I was
mm,
reading about, they had producers come in and then they weren't getting money on time, and the
mm.
some of them were putting I think Keanu put some of his own money into this. Like they were having kind of struggles around that. So one thing that came from that as well is that they can only have a single camera setup.
Oh
They couldn't
damn.
have like multiple angles going.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's why they really committed to a lot of lengthy single takes
Mm,
and the grounded action without like big elaborate stunts. One, that's really expensive, and two, if you only have a single camera, you could easily move it through the space. You know what I mean? Just focus on Keanu, let him do all of his grounded action, and then they
yeah.
basically only made cuts when there was mistakes. But
And
you have a lot of long shots because they
no,
only have one camera.
100%. And I think it really works too. Like
100%.
it's
Yeah.
not it's not like jarring in a way where it's just like it doesn't like it just it looks weird where it's like, oh, like sometimes when you watch something and like they try differently, like unique camera style, sometimes your eyes don't like adjust and like appreciate it. Sometimes you feel like, oh wait, what are they kind of doing here? But like at no point are you watching it and it kind of like feels off. Like the fighting sequences. I think the cinematography is another element of it too. Like I was saying how it's like they go off that Japanese like anime style, but just the way they have just like the lighting. Like sometimes they'll have like it's just green in there or or
Yeah.
it's just blue. And that's become like a staple of like this franchise. Like every movie's got like a different like color balance of like sometimes it'll be like really purple or it'll be like really like orange in a room or whatever it is.
Mhm.
And it just works so perfectly. It just looks so cool.
I like it. I like it. I love it in the action scenes. But there are some scenes where I think it's maybe a little overdone. Like at the start when John and Marcus,
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe's character, they're in the
Yeah.
cemetery. Like the light is just like white. Like it's just
Yeah.
white and blue. And I'm like, I feel like it kind of just washes these dudes out. I didn't love it in that
That's fair.
scene. Um, Another point actually that reminds me, Willem Dafoe looks nothing like a Marcus.
Yeah.
Like that almost kind of takes me out of the movie, bro. When they're like, "What they Marcus?" You look at William Dafoe. Y'all know what William Dafoe looks like.
Yeah.
Not a chance in hell. That's a Marcus. Not a chance.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, it's just yeah, no, it is a strange name. I forgot that was I actually forgot that was his name in the movie and I was like, Marcus, okay.
Because your brain just deleted it because
Yeah.
it's
What
unfathomable.
would you name him?
What would I name
I'm
him?
putting you on the spot. Yeah.
All right, we'll call him. We're gonna call him. Ooh, no, we're gonna.
Can't say
It's gonna start with
William.
a J. We're gonna
Okay.
call him. No, not a J. Why am I struggling so much to like find a name? We're gonna call him Hudson.
Hudson.
That's like a dog's name. We're gonna call him like.
See, now you're crapping on them and you can't name them.
Dude.
They're like, forget it, Marcus.
Yeah,
We
literally,
can't figure it out.
they were doing what I was doing. Like, fuck, what are we gonna call this guy? They're like, you know what? Fuck it, let's call him Marcus.
What about Cornelius? Is that too much?
Cornelius? I fuck with that. Yeah,
Yeah, Cornelius.
I like that. Yeah,
Fillmore.
And by the way, John, that gun was dry, real dry. Oh man.
Oh
Yeah,
my
Cornelius.
goodness.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's better than Marcus.
Yeah. I
More
don't really.
believable.
I don't like Marcus either. That's a good point.
So we get this first action scene at his house. I feel like we should definitely talk about it. What are your more memorable kills from that fight?
Oh, like when, this is after like within the cleanup, like that one, not them like beating.
Yeah, so
him
this
up
is the
and killing
first.
the
This is
dog.
the first. Yeah, not that
okay.
one. The first one where we see John. Like we get the whole. He's suiting up. We
Yeah,
get the full shot, top to bottom of his suit.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna see when Fit Check comes around what he decided,
true.
but then he killed the assassins. Come to his house. There's a lot of crazy kills in this. Like I said, it was only 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Yeah, which is crazy. I think it was that quick, but no, it's
because it's so memorable. It's so quick, crazy.
100%. It's just a great establishing of the character. You know what I mean? Like we finally get to see him in action. Like before we see him get his ass beat. So you're kind of like, oh, is he gonna be rusty? You know what I mean? And like there's that joke about it later. He's like, oh, usually we like when he's at the Continental, like, oh, usually we have people stay here that do the hurting, not get hurt. And he's like, I'm rusty. But yeah, so like after you see him get his ass beat like that, you're like, oh, is this guy really that guy? If like those guys came in, but I guess he just wasn't ready for it. He didn't know, and didn't know what to expect. Like, how hard do I go against these guys? But again, in this moment, we see him, and there's one thing I'll never forget. When I was getting my haircut back when I used to live in Brampton, and this is actually the first time I actually got into the John Wick franchise. Because at the barber shop, like I don't know if anyone's ever been to a barber shop. Sometimes they'll have a TV. Not every barber shop has a TV, but they're always playing movies. And these guys love John Wick. And they asked me like at the time, I was like, "Oh, have you ever seen like the John Wick movies?" And I was like, I don't think I have actually. And he's like, "Okay, well, we're playing the second one." I'm like, "Okay, whatever. You can play it regardless." And they were just getting so hyped. I'm like, that boy John Wick, he don't miss, yo. You know, no wasted bullets. And like that that guy always comes into my head when I'm watching John Wick. I'm like, yeah, man, it's just like everything just bang, 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 bang. It's like every shot, usually not every shot, but most shots hit somebody. It's not like the John Wick fight scenes always feel like it's not like a shoot, 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 duck, shoot, 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 duck, shoot, shoot. Yeah. It's like it's like bang, headshot, headshot, stomach, reload, headshot. Yeah. Like maybe I missed you one time, second shot I'm getting you. It's Facts. Like it's so precise his shooting scenes, and it's just like that's a reminder. And in my head, every time I hear, "Yo, that boy John Wick, you don't miss."
Yeah, that's that's so good. That's actually kind of similar. I have my Jordan and Brandon, friends of ours that before I had seen the movies, I think we were gonna go watch a movie and we were talking about what should we watch. So they were talking about John Wick.
Yeah,
and I hadn't seen it. They're like, "You haven't seen John Wick? John Wick is cold, man. Like, you do not want to mess with John Wick. He's that dude." And I was like, I mean, okay, like it's an action movie. Obviously, they're all that dude. But once you see it, like, nah,
it's different.
Yeah, he is that dude. And like I said, the way that they hype him up throughout the whole movie, like it kind of forces you to feel like this.
Yeah,
like Viggo's saying, like, this dude. Are you kidding me? He's not the boogeyman. He fucking kills the fucking boogeyman. You're like, God damn, this guy's a fucking problem. And then you see him do it, and you're like you said, no wasted bullet. Bang, headshot, hit you in the rib, stab you, boom, punch you in the throat, headshot. Like, this guy's nuts.
It's insane. And again, there's gonna be a lot of comparison just to other action movies, and it's not even a discredit because I love the Bourne movies. We obviously are really big fans of the Mission Impossible, but it's just different. Like Bourne, it's like I don't even say sloppy, but there's a lot more hand-to-hand combat, and there's a little bit of like not mistakes, but it's not as swift. And I think that's just the style. They want these punching and like sight scenes to last a little longer. But when John Wick, it's like majority of the time it's like 30 dudes come at him and it's like just take these guys out one by one. It's not more so like I take on this one guy and then move on to the next guy. That's kind of more like Ethan Hunt and like Bourne style. But Wick is like, I bring 12, bring 50, I don't care. Let's go.
Yeah. See, I think that the difference with Bourne is that a lot of his fights are he's unprepared for.
Yeah.
Like sometimes he's chilling in his house and
That's
people sneak up on him. Or like John Wick, he's suiting up. He's got 18 guns strapped to his body.
Yeah.
Like he's going into a fight knowing he's going to kill a bunch of people.
100%.
So Bourne will be in a situation. He's like, how do I what do I use around me? I got to break this bottle?
Yeah.
Let me grab this freaking newspaper and just beat the shit out of you with it. And you know what I mean? Like it's kind of sloppy in that sense.
And I'm not discrediting it. Like
yeah,
again,
that's what I mean.
to put more emphasis
cool
on it. I really love both those franchises, but
yeah,
just as a comparison, like to give the comparison of like why I think like this one's different and why it's like it's just cool to see because it's like you're seeing something that is unique.
100%. Yeah. Okay, so then the next action scene at the red circle. Again, feel like we got to talk about this. To me,
Yeah.
it's like the music. Like he
Yeah.
gets down to the basement, he's trying to kill Losif, he escapes. So he goes up into the club and then it's just like this EDM going crazy and he's walking through the club like killing people and there's like because the music's so loud, a couple people around the bodies are like, "Oh shit." But everybody else is still dancing, like having a good time for a while and until he like throws someone over the railing or whatever and then everyone starts to freak out, but I mean, when he's just walking through with the music blaring, killing people, this is so dope.
Yeah, that's almost become like a classic staple of these movies. I can't remember if it happens in the third one. It probably does. There's always a club scene. There's always a club scene. It's always lit like really cool. And it's always like this, like this EDM kind of like dance, like rave kind of music going. And it just fits the vibe so well. I don't know what it is, but it's just I guess now it's just become a staple of the franchise. And like just seeing to jump ahead as I'm excited for Ballerina, which is why we're obviously we're doing this movie. I'm pretty sure there's a club scene in that too. You have to have it. You have to have this cool kind of club scene.
Yeah, there
where
definitely is. I've seen it in the trailer.
That's what I'm saying. Like you have to have a club scene in there. It's just like it's just become a staple of the movie or the franchise. Sorry.
I mean, since you brought it up, but with Ballerina coming, like Ana de Armas, are you excited for her? Like, do you think she's gonna live up to kind of Keanu in the action? Like, what are you kind of looking for from her?
I'm excited to see it just in the sense of like it's gonna be different in the sense of like the fighting style because she's a woman. It seems like because she's a ballerina, there's gonna be more hand to hand. I think for some reason I feel like she's gonna be. I'm kind of comparing her to Black Widow
Yeah,
in that sense because like it's similar kind of origin story. So it's gonna be that kind of
she
style.
did ballet too, no?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They always do. If you're Russian, you do ballet because obviously, like that's the biggest thing. And well, I shouldn't say it's the biggest thing, but ballet's huge in Russia. So like, if they always have them do that because it's like a discipline thing, and then like they become assassins. And I'm excited to see that aspect because I'm just imagining her like doing her Karanas on dudes and like doing like snapping their necks with like leg locks and stuff like that, and her just like pulling out knives, throwing them and stuff, and still using guns. And I heard she was doing a lot of training for it too, like to do like because like again like they like to do practicals. So like we're gonna have you're gonna have a couple stump doubles, but it's gonna look cooler if you can actually do this stunt. So she talked about how she did a lot of training, and Keanu said he was impressed. Like I obviously don't think he'd say it likewise. Like I was kind of disappointed. I was kind of disappointed in her. She didn't give it as much as I did. I'm like 30 years older than her.
That great.
Yeah,
don't even bother go to see it.
But I'm optimistic. I think she put in the work for it.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm very interested to see, and I think it's another way for the action, like the stunt coordinators or the action directors, to get a little more creative with it. Like you said, because she's a woman, so it's just a different fighting style.
Yeah,
it can't be as like brute force type of stuff. So I think there'll be some creative ways that they'll have her kill people, which I think will be I'm excited for. Another thing that's interesting is I think she's dating Tom Cruise right now, and he's like the king of training and getting ready for stunts. So I think maybe he has a little bit of an influence on her.
Well, they have been hanging out more, And like I don't know if like there's probably like everyone's when you see people together like, oh, are they dating? So
Yeah,
like,
maybe
but
not.
I know
I
I
don't know.
know he wants to make a movie with her. So I know
Mhm.
that's legit. He's like, yeah, I'm trying to make a movie with her. I think that's actually the space movie where he said he wanted
Yeah,
to
I think
shoot
you're
something
right.
in space, and Anna de Armas he's trying to get her to be in that movie. So he's working that Tom charm that he
Yeah, exactly.
and like he still got it even in his
Yeah,
60s because it's
yeah.
just like, hey, Tom Cruise asked me to be in a movie. Why would I say
Yeah, I mean,
no?
maybe they're not dating.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
really
know.
pay attention to that. I don't
No,
really
me
care, to be
neither.
honest. But
Yeah, yeah.
it's just that connection and the fact that he's the weapons training
No,
guy. He's
exactly.
like, you know.
Exactly.
Um, I do have one question
Yeah.
about like I guess not a question, but I just want to point out like the police in the red circle. Like this guy's in a full club, everyone's running out, and then he just walks
Mm.
out of there. Like where are the police?
Yeah,
What's the
yeah, I
deal?
don't know. Maybe the police just know. They got like the Iggy, like they got the like the those like don't red circle. You know, like police are paid off. I feel like it's that kind of work, like
Mm,
kind of how we got freaking Jimmy from earlier. Like the police know like anything that happens at the red circle, like don't worry about it.
right.
Like this is
Yeah.
Gotham. Well, it's not Gotham because Gotham the police actually do get involved, but it's like some kind of mafia thing almost where it's just like,
I do think
we
you're
don't get
right.
involved.
I wrote it down like when I was watching the movie because I was like, where he's just walking out like with
Yeah.
everybody else that's running out of the club. This is bullshit. But then I thought about it for a minute, and I think you're probably right. I think it's kind of like this is like our underground club or whatever, and we
Yeah.
just kind of like the police know not to deal with it. Kevin Nash already
Exactly.
fucked off for the night.
Yeah, exactly.
um, so he's chilling in the Continental. You talk about he gets stitched up. He has his drink to deal with the pain and everything.
Mhm.
And there's a fight with Perkins in there, and she's elbowing him in the
Oh,
stitches,
yeah, I know, that's
and we just like
oh,
close up on it, and the blood is splatting. I was like, oh my god, it was painful just watching that.
yeah, no,
It was a
yeah,
great
that
fight though.
no, it is a great fight, and they I forgot that she did that, and I was just like, "Oh, man." And it's a good thing, like, again, it's like a subtle thing, like, we already knew he was messed up, but it just added more to make it's like, if they didn't do that scene where the doctor stitched him up and everything, like, maybe he just fell off the thing and he's sore and he's walking around, but the fact that they showed you and you almost forget. Like that's the perfect thing that you do in a movie. It's like I'm showing you that he has this injury and it's gonna come back later. Sometimes you forget, like, oh, if they're showing me, maybe something's gonna happen where he has to stitch it back up. But I forgot that she elbowed him in the stomach, like right in the spot. I was just like, oh, you just felt his pain for him.
Yeah. That was nasty work. And
Oh,
actually a funny little note too is that like when he comes into the Continental, this is the same night that he went to the Red Circle. Like this guy's a psycho.
yeah,
Comes in, he's and the guy at the front desk was named Sharon,
yeah,
apparently is his name. He's like he's asking him about his night. Do you need the doctor upstairs, whatever?
yeah.
And then John's like, and how good's your laundry? Says, I'm sorry to say that nobody is that good.
Yeah, that
No,
was
there's
good.
so many bars in this
Oh
movie. I'm
yeah.
so excited to hear what your favorite quote is. I know it's going to be a banger,
Oh yeah,
but
no, there's so
this
many
guy
good
was great.
lines. That is also kind of funny to me too because like it's not even my favorite, but I'm like nobody's that good. I'm like, this is your guys' line of work. This is what you're dealing with. You telling me no one pulls up like John regularly?
Yeah,
I would have felt
that's
like
fair.
that's like the regular. Like he was messed up. He wasn't that messed. And like he was completely drenched in blood in a couple spots.
Yeah, I think I'm guessing like most of the time these assassins, it's like a one person contract, and they're
Yeah.
probably more like sneaky about it. So they kind of sneak in, get the kill, sneak out, and they don't really
Mhm.
get into a fight that often.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like more he wouldn't. You're right. Like this is, it's not like it would never happen.
Yeah.
So you would think that they would have something in place to like, you're not clean the shirt because there's bullet holes in it, but
Yeah.
replace it. And that would
Exactly.
just be the code for like, how's your laundry? Be like, oh, dry cleaners will
Yeah.
be here in the morning or something,
Exactly. Oh, look at you adding to the lore, yo.
There we go. I can't figure out a name for Willem Dafoe, but I can but I can get the dry cleaners little reference there. Hey, Willem Dafoe, hard guy to pick a name for.
Yeah, apparently. I didn't realize it until you pointed out, and I was like, you name him something. I don't know. I'm calling him
You went with
Cornelius.
Cornelius. um so then so we get to see when he kills Losif at the safe house.
Yeah.
He gets the information that that's where he is. We get to see him like sniping. That was a cool part of this movie too. Is like the action scenes. We always get to see him do a little bit different. The first
Yeah.
one at his house is very hand to hand. There's some guns as well. In the red circle, it's mostly guns, a little bit of hand to hand. Then we get him like sniping from the purse. That was fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
No, it's
And then there's
insane.
even the car chase at the end. So we get to him like we get to see him kill people in different ways.
Yeah.
But I remember being surprised how quick it was that he kills Losif. Like when he's walking up to him in the slow mo, and Losif is like lying down on the ground. Then he just walks up to him, headshot. I was
Yeah.
expecting like more brutal like revenge, you know?
No, 100%. Like he didn't. John Wick doesn't really. I mean, at this point, you didn't really know, but not like a torture guy. It was just kind of just like, all right, it's done, it's done. But yeah, and that's why I feel like the way that's like a nice twist on it, where you assume that's just going to be the roll credits of the movie. It's just like once he finally does it, boom, maybe like a sigh of relief or whatever, and then like he has like his little moments, him going back home. But he pops him, and you realize the runtime. It's like, oh, we're not done yet. Like I thought this was like the climax of the movie, and like even the way he led into like the slow walk to it, it felt very final. And it's like, oh no, we're gonna give you a little bit extra. There's a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, So what do you think of the end of the movie then? He goes and he fights Vigo, and Marcus gets got, because he
Yeah,
was helping John. I'm glad that Marcus at least got to take two out with him.
yeah, no, that's
When he
true.
was tied up and he's like, "No, you're going to go out on my terms." "No, sir. I go out on my own." Takes two guys out with him, and then Vigo kills him, empties the clip into him,
Oh
and
yeah.
says like, "Well played."
Yeah.
That was a sick scene actually.
No, that was a six. I mean, I don't blame him though, for because like they were like they weren't just trying to kill him. He stabbed him in his thigh, and it's like,
Hmm.
all right, dog. Like I'm going out on my own terms. You're not gonna slowly just cut me up in like 100 slices until like I just bleed out. Like we're doing this. But
Right.
no, I like the way it ended. As I was just saying how like they gave you a little bit more. They could have just rolled credits on that, but like no, they gave you, nah, John, you're not done. Your boys being tortured, being killed. Now you have to have another fight to deal with. And he didn't end up killing him, which I don't mind, because not in the sense of like, oh, they didn't kill him because they're trying to build it up into a sequel, but it's more so in this world. They kind of teased earlier him saying how it's like, oh, like we used to be civilized kind of thing, and he's kind of like resorting. He's like, well, I guess I'm back in this. Let me get back to this world. And like I'm gonna let him go. Like I killed his son. Like I stabbed him. Like clean slate kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like I should have expected this. Like even though his son did me wrong, I shouldn't expect him to not try to get back for me killing his son. So
Yeah.
like they're kind of like level ground, and like this is like his, now this is gonna be his not his Joker in the sense, but it's just like you don't need to kill the big bad. Like he can still live, but like know that we're, if I need to come back and get you, I'll come back and get you, but just leave it at that.
Yeah, like in the moment, I remember the first time watching, I was kind of upset that he didn't kill him, but I
Mhm.
think it actually does make sense with the character that they've like it's consistent with what they've done the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Like you have he's not a stone cold kill. Like he doesn't enjoy killing. Like he was a
Yeah.
contract killer. He wanted to get out of it
Hmm.
and be with his wife, and he successfully did that. Did the impossible job that he had to do.
Yeah.
Again, glad they didn't show us that.
Yeah.
Like we just could build it up to be something
Exactly.
absolutely insane. But so yeah, he wants to kill Losif because he's the one that beat him up, stole his car, killed his dog. So yeah, but Vigo didn't do that. So it's not like he's pissed at Vigo
Yeah.
necessarily, because he like his son did it and he had his son, I guess, but like it's not really his fault.
No.
So I guess it makes sense. But the one thing that I don't like as much is just the fact that like it was such a difficult fight for John. Like we just watched him kill like 77 dudes, like I said.
Mhm.
And yeah, he takes damage and stuff, but like he's a lot of them it's pretty handedly that he beats these guys. Vigo is this old Russian mobster. Like those are trained assassins. If he can
Yeah.
beat Perkins in a fight, he has to stab himself to beat Vigo.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't buy that.
Maybe they should have had him be a little bit more beat up to make it more
Mm,
believable. Because to me, in my head, I was like, was Vigo that guy before? Like, was he just like someone that could fight in the past?
yeah,
But to
he's old.
me, like they didn't establish it as that. They didn't
Yeah,
establish it that. So I agree with you on that sense. But yeah, I guess it would have worked more if they had John like right before he got to those guys. Like even though he took out those other assassins, maybe they really messed him up. Like maybe
right.
someone like dislocated his arm, so now he's fighting Vigo with one arm. where it's like, okay, now we're kind of, or like one messed up knee or something like that. So now it's like, okay, now it's a little more of an even playing ground, because besides the stitches, which is still a pretty messed up injury, but like it didn't affect you against those other dudes who seem to be able to fight, to be able to fight them.
Yeah, Perkins is elbowing him in the spleen,
Well,
like through his skin.
that was after that. I mean, that was before these guys, though.
Yeah.
So then you could
but
say
that's
that
what I mean. If in that moment he can still win the fight.
Yeah.
Against Vigo, he can't. Well, I mean, he wins the fight, but it's more
it's
of a
not as
struggle.
easy. Yeah, no, that's true. No, it's a good point.
And then I got one more point, but just about Vigo's like lawyer or whoever, like Avi.
Yeah.
The dude, he got the I gave him the Joaquin Phoenix Commodus Award.
Okay.
I made up an award for this.
All right.
Just for getting bitched the whole movie. Like the whole fact that anytime Vigo's talking to him, he doesn't speak Russian. Why is that a thing? He's like, Vigo, I need you to speak English. Vigo's beating the shit out of his son. He's trying to leave, and he's like, no, you stay here. Like, and then in the car chase, he's like, who's got a gun? I need a gun. Where's a gun? I need to find a gun. Like, he's just a bitch the whole movie.
So
why did they even make the character like not speak Russian? Just have him speak Russian. Just,
I don't know.
Why is that even a part of the movie?
It's such a good point. I don't know. It was just some kind of just a constant friction. I don't have no idea. You asked a very good question. I don't have an answer for you. I don't know why he didn't speak Russian. I don't know why they just didn't have him be Russian. I don't know why they had that American dude. I don't know why he couldn't fight.
Nothing.
Like this guy had resources, clearly, like how many guys you need, like what do you like, he can get you what you need, but he can't do what he need. Like he can't do anything apparently.
I need a gun. Who's got a gun?
That's what I'm saying.
Why not just have him have a gun? Like, why? There was a lot of. He asked like 12 times, and Vigo's just in the back seat, kind of like giggling, chuckling. He's like, "You're dead. Like, it doesn't matter if you have a gun or not." But why is that?
And he's just a buffoon. Like he gets out the car and he slips. He tries to shoot John and he misses, and he just laughs. He's just like, "Oh, I'm shit." And then he like.
That's why I gave him the honorary Joaquin Phoenix Commodus Award.
Well deserved. Yeah. Well deserved. It's kind of a mouthful of an award, but
hey, would it just be the Commodus Award?
I don't know.
I want to just give. If I just said Commodus Award, maybe you wouldn't get it.
Yeah,
so
that's
I just
true.
To like,
it's the Joaquin Award, if anything. That's it. That's the Joaquin role.
Yeah, you're right. Joaquin Phoenix Award. Okay,
he's a simple word, man. I like Joaquin though. No, it's just funny. They put him in that role. That he gets put in that role so much. I don't think Gladiator helped him.
Do you have any facts, or did you miss any points?
No, I squeezed in all the facts I had. I just came through our conversation. I don't have anything. I got
a couple more. So one is just a couple changes they made to the script that I thought was interesting. So when he breaks into the church to burn Vigo's stash, and the priest doesn't want to open up the cage, and he's like, "No, Vigo will kill me." And John, he kills the guy and just points the gun in his face, goes, "Uh-huh." Apparently, at the start, that was a 5-page conversation.
Really?
Of John, like, I guess, convincing him, like, no, Vigo's a bad guy, or I don't know what the conversation was, but apparently it was 5 pages, and they just trimmed it to, uh-huh.
That's awesome. No, I definitely didn't see that. That's hilarious.
Great choice.
What was the converstation?
I had no idea. Yeah, what? Yeah, like I said, maybe it would be John kind of like playing to his heart's like, no, he killed my dog. Help me! I'm trying to burn his. I don't know. I don't know.
I remember whose call was it? Like, were they like, all right, this is gonna be your thing, and then Keanu was looking at, he's like, I'm not doing that, and he said, and they're like, all right, yeah, roll with it.
Imagine like that, like the script actually had the 5 pages, and then Keanu at the moment just like shot the guy. And go, No. You know what? Apparently, that's in one of the Indiana Jones movies. I don't remember which one, but Harrison Ford actually kind of did that. There was supposed to be a whole choreographed fight with somebody, but he was like sick that day or something, so he just pulled out his gun and shot the guy. And they were like, "Oh, okay, sure."
Let's I guess that works.
Yeah. And then one other change was the impossible task.
Okay.
They decided not to show it because they never wanted to show John's life before his wife's death. So apparently they kind of had the impossible task in there, and then they were like, no. So we already talked about it, how that was a good choice, but just wanted to mention that.
No, actually, yeah, it's just better for the lore. I feel like that way. I definitely like it more like that.
I also got Willem Dafoe,
Mhm.
Cornelius. Apparently, he added the element of his character making juice. You know, like when Vigo comes to
Oh,
see him and he gives
yeah,
him the
yeah.
contract, 2 million to kill John Wick, and he's making juice. So apparently, that was Willem Dafoe's idea, saying that his character would need it in order to stay competitive with younger assassins.
I
Like my
mean, what
character needs to be making juice.
I mean, I appreciate it because when I saw him making the juice, I'm like, okay, he's trying to stay healthy. Like, but it's funny that he added that element into it, where it's just
Yeah,
like, yeah, because everyone else is just drinking vodka or whatever, or drinking whatever, like the alcohol, doing all their things. He's like, nah, I need to stay healthy.
yeah. I need carrot juice and
Yeah, they could have had him doing
things like that.
yoga or something too. Had him on the treadmill or something, you know.
Yeah, yeah. There you could have had that.
Oh, that's funny.
Uh,
That's good. I like that. I like when people add little things to their characters. Just like he had a pretty. It's a pretty big character. It's kind of a side character, but like if you just add like little elements just to make it unique, because that's a memorable scene to me also too. Just him like realizing the drink, sniffing it, and then walking out and being like, "Thanks for the drink." And man didn't even take a sip.
I know. I noticed that too. I didn't notice that on my first watch, but I remember seeing that on this time. Like he just
Yeah.
like gives him the drink. He just sniffs it, puts it down. He's like, "Yeah, I don't want any of that." See, but if that's what Willem needs in order to stay competitive with the young guys, Vigo doesn't need that. He can still fight John Wick. Bullshit.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Bullshit.
It's a good point.
All right. Well, Filmmies time.
Let's get into the filmies.
Let's do it.
Yes, yes, it's that time of the show. It's time for the filmies. And if you're new to the show, Scott and I, we give 6 awards out to the movie we just watched. And the first award that we have is our Ferris Bueller Award. So the Ferris Bueller Award is AKA our Lazy Award. It's an award we give out to, it could be the writer, director, it could be anybody on set that we felt something was deemed as lazy. It's all in jest, though. It's just something usually we thought was funny that we wanted to point out. So, Scott, who gets your Ferris Bueller Award?
Mine goes to Vigo,
Okay.
and it's for not telling his son about John Wick. So you're sending this guy on a job. You're in New York. You know, I guess you don't know if John's in New York,
Yeah, if
but
he moved or not. Yeah.
he used to work for you. You know, he
Hmm.
did this impossible task. You know, he's like the baddest dude on the planet. And just warn your son. Just like send him a picture. Be like, hey, by the way, if you ever run into this guy, don't fuck with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, that's a
Like,
good point.
just warn him.
No, 100%. I was kind of thinking, part of me was thinking that too. I'm just like, I was like, part of it's like, well, like, it was 4 years ago, but it's just like, and like, wouldn't you just tell? Like, I feel like it just come up. You know what I mean? Like, hey, son, I want to tell you a story. I used to have this guy that you think that used to work for me. He was crazy. Like,
Mm.
he doesn't want to brag about that. Like this crazy assassin. I feel like that would just come up. He's not braggadocious, I guess, or whatever. Or maybe they don't talk about the business that way. You
Well,
feel like it would come up.
he did after he finds out Losif killed his dog. Like, right? He comes in and he tells him the whole everything.
Yeah,
He
no,
tells him, he's like, yeah, he did the impossible task. He killed 3 dudes with a pencil. Like, why didn't you do this before? If you did this before, he would have been like, saw John Wick and be like, okay, you know, car's not for sale. All right, man. Have a good day.
No, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Yeah, it's conversation that should have been had.
Yep. And
It's a
it didn't.
cover
So he
definitely,
was
and
being
it
lazy.
didn't. My Ferris Bueller, I actually jumped back and forth between 2 people, and then I finally narrowed it down to giving it to John Wick. And it's
Mm.
like for literally being lazy, or like when he gets the dog, right? And again, there's I give him some credit because he didn't know he was gonna get a dog. But like when he realized the dog's hungry and he just pours him a bowl of cereal with milk and cereal and like and just like and I'm like, come on, dog, like go get him something, man. Like I'll go get you something tomorrow or whatever. It's
Yeah.
like that's literally being lazy. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if you. I don't think there's anything wrong with giving a dog that, but I think John knows that I shouldn't be giving a dog cereal and milk.
Yeah.
Figure it
Honestly, if
out.
anything, just don't pour the milk. Just give him dry cereal. That's probably
That's what
better.
I was thinking too. That's what really offended me. Him throwing the milk in there too with it. I'm like, how far are you from a convenience store? Like I'm sure the gas station probably has or something got to be nearby.
Yeah.
It won't take you that long. You have a car. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like just go quick drive, come back, get that dog some food. Literally just being lazy.
Well, he had the dog Oh no, never
He
mind. I was
got
gonna
it
say he
at
had the dog
night.
that it was that night. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
all I'm saying.
that's
Wake up
hey,
in
I
the
like it.
morning, realizing I need to get this dog some food. In that moment, like, oh dang, I gotta get you some food. Like the dog
Yeah,
can wait a little bit. Like you can take the dog with you. You know what I mean? Like there's no way you live like an hour away from the nearest spot
no,
by car. So I'm literally just giving him the lazy award for being lazy.
yeah, that's a good one. I mean, ballsy to give John Wick a lazy award.
Yeah, I
He
know.
might
I
be
almost
he
gave
might
it
be
to
coming for you
Helen, to be honest. I thought that was too wild because I was like,
to give him a dog.
no, to give him a dog and not give him dog food with it.
Oh,
But I was like, she was dying. It's a little bit
yeah,
much. But
I give her a break,
but if
man.
she's
She's really
dying and she
dying.
can figure out to get a guy a dog, you can't throw
Mm.
some food with it. But I was like, it's kind of harsh. So let me give it
Yeah.
to John.
Yeah, give a woman on her deathbed a lazy award. Pick it up, Helen. What's your problem?
That's why I switched. That's why I was like, this is kind of wild, actually. She's a fictional character, but I still feel bad. So I passed the
Oh,
blame on
man.
to John.
All right, fair enough. I like it.
Our next award is a self-explanatory award. It's the fit check. So we teased it earlier. What was your favorite fit of the movie?
Yeah, I mean, I basically showed my hand. It's
Oh,
John's
you
all
did?
black suit.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
his all black. Like I said, like we hit the slicked hair, the all black
Yeah.
suit. We get a full shot of it, like toes to his head. Like
Yeah, head to toe.
it's head to, head to
Yeah.
toe. Well, it went from the bottom to the top, so that's
Oh,
why I went.
okay.
But you're right. It's head to toe to head. I don't. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. Yeah, it's so clean, and
Yeah.
we get like the slow mos of him walking with it and the action. Like honestly, it's weird that like all these trained assassins, you'd think you wouldn't want to wear a fucking 3-piece suit to do this. Like,
Yeah, I
you think
know.
you'd go with something a little more. You have a little
Like
more
flexible.
mobility.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Just a tracksuit. John Wick in a
looks hard.
tracksuit.
Yeah, hell yeah.
There's all in tracksuits. Looks like they're about to play a ball game or something.
Yeah, that was what it would be if Martin Scorsese directed it. And
Well, that's a
Willem
good
Dafoe's
fit.
character would be Paulie.
No, that's a good fit. I actually almost had that as my fit just because it's like it's like this iconic fit of just like it's kind of like that's his work attire basically. So I
Mhm.
was like, it's just a legendary fit. I didn't go that route because I was like, let me see if there's anything else that stuck out to me, and something did. So I gave it to Vigo. Is it Vigo? Did you say it?
Vigo. I think
Vigo.
I don't know.
Okay, I gave it to him, and it's the scene when John actually is to asking him like, "Oh, where's your son at?" And he's like standing over him with the gun, and he tells him where it is. I don't know. I like the fit. I've been appreciating hats more, and not just
Okay.
like fitted hats, just like like a nice top hat or fedora hat. Because I've been watching Mad Men, and like there's a lot of hats in that. It's the '60s. Everyone wears hats back then. That's this whole thing. It's
Okay.
like, why don't people wear hats anymore? I'm like, yeah, hats are kind of out of style. Like people wear baseball caps, but you don't. It's rare you see a dude just wearing a fedora or a top hat. I don't think you
Yeah.
really ever see a dude wearing a top hat anymore.
No.
But so now when I see hats, I'm just because I'm watching Mad Men, I'm like, oh look, shout out, dude's wearing a hat, yo. So he's rocking he has the fedora. He's got the long overcoat. It's got like the pinstripe vest, which I like. I'm a fan of purple, so I like the little dark purple that was in there. And he's got the stripes tie. I was just feeling it. The hat's what got me initially to look at his fit, and there was purple in there, so I'm like, all right, I mess with the fit.
All
So
right. Yeah.
I'm a
I
hat
like
guy.
it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
a
I
hat
mean,
guy right now.
there are a lot of good. Vigo he has some good fits.
He had a
I
couple
mean,
of good fits.
he's a freaking mob boss. Of course, he's gonna have great fits. I mean, he gets some cold shots as well when he's like sitting at his desk rolling a joint and
Yeah.
smoking while like John's hunting his son down, like, or when he's like sitting by the fire and he's like, "Oh, the boogeyman, the Baba Yaga," and he's just like, it's a little like out there, but it fits with the movie. It's so
Yeah,
good.
it pays into the whole anime thing, right? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
anime is very dramatic like that too, when they're just like someone's just like looking in a window or whatever, and it's just like
Yeah.
dramatic music playing,
Sitting
rain's
by the
falling.
fire, a glass of cognac.
Exactly.
Actually, even their last fight, like it starts pouring rain.
Yeah,
of course
that's
it's
so
pouring
classic.
rain. Yeah, so
Yeah,
anime.
100%. You need to have that in there. Sideways rain. It can never
Yeah.
be. I think it actually was sideways rain too.
Definitely.
It was
yeah.
never just a straight downpour. It was like rain. Put some angles to it. Just make it look extra cinematic. But yeah, that was my fit check. Our
Nice.
next award we have is quote. We also teased this earlier, saying you're curious to see what my favorite quote was. So, what was your favorite quote from the movie? I had a couple here. I had to narrow it down.
Yeah, there's so many great quotes.
There's a lot of good quotes.
But I ended up going with Vigo,
Okay, yeah.
talking to Losif, and he says, "Well, John wasn't exactly the boogeyman. He was the one you sent to kill the fucking boogeyman." Oh my god, are you kidding me? How fucking tough is that?
Yeah, no, that is
Like,
tough.
when it says, yeah, this guy's a problem. This guy's John Wick. He's a problem. And also, like I talked about before, like it consistent with his character. He wasn't a bad guy. He's not the boogeyman.
That's true.
He just is a contract killer, and he's just good at what he does.
Yeah.
He kills the boogeyman. He's not a bad guy.
No, 100%. That is a good line. There's so many of those like lines that just like punch where you're just like, if you were in a theater and you're just like, let's go, like we know we're like I can't wait to see what this guy does, man. And that's
just
like
stank face.
Yeah, it's like, I was like, what am I getting into?
Yeah, this is
this
again,
guy
this
kills the
before,
boogeyman.
Yeah, this is all before we've even seen any fighting scenes.
Oh my goodness.
This is right before the first one in his house. And then he kills 12 dudes in 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Absolutely insane, man. I wish they brought back what was it called? Like Celebrity Deathmatch, or like that. There was that YouTube channel that used to do like people that would never fight each other, and they had them go against each other. Like, oh, what if Goku went against Superman?
Yeah.
I need John Wick versus Michael Myers, because Michael Myers is the boogeyman. That would be a wild ass fight.
You can't not have him kill the boogeyman. This is what Vigo
says.
I
know that's so. I know that's, but that's just be a perfect matchup because everyone always says it's like, oh, it's the boogeyman. Michael Myers, the boogeyman. I'm like, it's like this guy that kills the boogeyman. I'm like, oh, someone.
But what is it your barber says? John Wick don't miss.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. But Michael Myers don't die. So I don't. It might be hard to have that go. But hey, we'll see. Yeah, so I ended up going with, I gave it to John Wick. And it's the scene when Vigo's son is calling, because what's it called? At this point, John Wick's killed all his friends, like all his friends that were kind of there at the beginning when they beat him up and everything. And he's trying to call his friend, what was his friend's name again? Victor. He's trying to call his friend Victor, but John took his phone at that point. So he's like, Victor, like, and he's speaking in Russian, whatever. And like he responds in Russian. He's like, Victor's dead. Everybody's got a price. Click. Because like earlier he was asking him to buy his car, right? And he's just like, how much for the car? He's like, oh, it's not for sale. He's like, everyone's got a price. So the fact that he brought that line back to let him know Victor's dead, everyone's got a price. He's like, oh snap.
Yup.
I was like, that's hard.
That was tough as hell. That's what, because Losa first, everyone's got a price, bitch.
Yeah.
And then he says, not this one, bitch. Or he says something back to him in Russian. And he's like, oh shit, who the hell is this guy? That's John fucking Wick.
That's John Wick, man. That's John Wick. That line was so hard to me. Just with the click too. It's just like everyone's got a price. Click.
Like he doesn't need an answer. He doesn't care.
Yeah. He's like, hey, you know who I am. Because I'm saying first of all, I'm saying this thing that I just said, and I'm just letting you know your friend is dead, and of course he's dead because I just answered his phone, and you're like, he's just damn.
He literally grabbed his phone just for that reason.
Yeah, 100%.
Like he didn't need to get his location. He didn't need it for any other reason. He's just like, he's gonna call, and I'm gonna want to rub it in his face that I murdered his friend.
Absolutely insane, man. The next award we have is our Six Man, so AKA our Peyton Pritchard Award. Peyton Pritchard Award,
bro.
Yeah, I know. And basically, our Six Man is just it's an award we give out to someone who had a small role in the movie. It's not quite our MVP. And sometimes they actually did have some of a significant role, but we're not giving them the MVP. So it's like we'll give them the Six Man as shouting them out for whatever they did in the movie. So I'm curious to see who you gave your Six Man.
Mine, we talked about a little bit. It goes to Jimmy.
Okay.
The cop that comes to his door. Just because it's such a great little part of the movie. It didn't have to be in there.
Yeah.
But it's so good. And he just comes in. I kind of wanted to give it to Aurelio. We talked about, the chop shop guy.
I thought that's what we were going to give it to him, just because of the way you brought him up.
He would have been a great Six Man. Sharon, the hotel manager, he would have been a great Six Man. He has some bars too.
Oh,
but
100%.
I just gave it to Jimmy because he comes in. He's like, hey, John, I just got a few calls. John's noise complaint.
Yeah, then it's the little sly look over. Yeah, you working again?
You're working again? And then he's like, all right, well, I'll leave you to it.
Yeah,
and just like backs. It's amazing. That guy's incredible. He's in there for 10 seconds.
Yeah,
it's an awesome part of the movie. He's my Six Man, and
that's the epitome of what basically the Six Man is too. Just like
100%.
Show in such a small role, and this is why he also is my Six Man. Of course, man.
It's
Like
got to be.
we when we talked about him, I was like, I'm already kind of showing my hand because I'm mentioning him, and then when you mentioned it too, and I was like, that doesn't necessarily mean his is six man, but I was like, that was such like a iconic moment because it's like, especially so early in the movie, you're kind of thinking you're this shows you even more so about like, okay, this is what we're getting into. Like even the cops are like hands off with this guy. Like because
Right.
sometimes in these kind of movies, just like when you got your superheroes, whatever, there's like, oh no, the cops are against Batman or Superman or Spider-Man or whatever it is. But like even the cops with John Wick are like, okay, do your
Yeah.
thing, John. Yeah, like I got a kid and wife at home. Like I'm
Yep.
not like it's not worth whatever I'm making. Like it's not.
Yeah. What am I gonna do? Take John Wick down?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not.
It's not happening.
Enjoy your night, John.
Yeah. Have a
And
good
and for
night.
the most part, like I know that you're only not to say you're a good guy. You're a trained assassin killing people, but I at least understand this line of work is you're killing bad people. You're not killing people and robbing, but like
Innocent people.
innocent people or something like that.
Yeah.
So like in my mind, I'm like, all right, that dude probably deserved it, I guess.
Yeah.
Enjoy
All
your
those
night.
guys probably deserve it.
Exactly. So shout
Yeah.
out Jimmy, man.
Yeah. 100%. Certified six man.
Certified six
Well
man.
earned.
Well earned. Our next award we have is our best scene. So again, a lot of great action sequences, a lot of the funny moments. I'm curious to see what you went with and what was your favorite scene of the movie?
I feel I really wanted to give it to an action scene,
Mm-hmm.
but I just couldn't.
Yeah, you don't have to.
I gave it to Vigo telling Losif about John Wick. Like the hype up, he hypes up our main guy. This is the best I've ever seen anyone hype up anyone in a movie.
Yeah.
I have a whole bunch of quotes written down, and I'm just gonna
go.
I'm
Spit
just
'em
gonna
out.
go off because he went insane. He stepped in the booth and just went nuclear with these bars. So Losif's like that fucking nobody that I stole a car from is that fucking nobody is John Wick. He's the one you sent to kill the fucking boogeyman. I once saw him call 3 men in a bar with a pencil. A fucking pencil. And then he says, okay, he wanted to get out. So we gave him an impossible task that no one could do. The bodies he buried that day laid the foundation for what we are now.
Yeah, that's hard.
John will come for you and you will do nothing because you can do nothing. So get the fuck out of my sight. Jesus Christ. It was just one after another.
Yeah.
Just bars, one after another. And I was like, oh my God, this guy's insane. I get so hyped watching this scene. So it's my favorite scene.
No, he's that guy, man. Like it gets you hyped up. Like even this is like I think it's like my third time watching this movie, and it's just like it still gives I don't say goosebumps. I'm gonna get that dramatic, but it still gets me like hyped up. I'm like, oh man, like, and I know what I'm getting into, and it's just like, I love hearing that. Like, keep hyping him up, keep it going, man. Like, let me let's get into it. It's funny, like your quote and your scene are all interesting together. It's just like. It's a great scene. I don't blame you, man.
I mean, you almost feel like Avi, like the lawyer that's sitting there, like after every bar, you go, yup.
Yeah.
And then what? Yeah, what else? You know what I mean? Like after every single one, just like,
yeah, I know. It's
so tough.
It's hard, man. It's hard.
What's yours?
My best scene is actually the last. It's the sequence like that we get in the final action sequence. Because to me, it's when he's in the car. Because to me, it was just cool because we got an action sequence, which I didn't forget necessarily, but I think the club scene was a little more memorable to me. And then when I watched it this time, I think there was a more of an appreciation of what he was doing. The fact that he was just fighting these guys in a car, just like driving, turning around, shooting backwards, the slide. And to me, the coolest part is, which it tops it off to me, is when he hits the guy is rolling over his car and he's shooting him as he's rolling up above the car. I'm like, I've never seen this in an action movie ever. Like that's insane. Like that's so cool. Sick. It's like, okay, I probably didn't kill him off that hit, but like I know where his body is and just boom, 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 boom. And now he's dead. I'm like, that's so sick.
I mean, this is what you come to this movie for, is insane action. Yeah. So that's why like I feel bad almost not giving it to an action scene, but like that Vigo hyping him up, I love it so much. But that, you're right. Dude flipping over. And if you imagine that, like, in real time, like how fast that would happen. You just like pop, 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 pop. Like that would
That's what
happen
I'm
so fast.
that's what
So
I'm
cool.
saying, yeah. And yeah, it's shot. It's like yeah, there probably is like a little bit of a slow-mo on it, like as they're doing it, but it just looks so cool. So I had to
Yeah.
give some love to that scene because it just to me it popped to me and I was like, I gotta give some love to that scene particularly. Our last award that we have, and last but definitely not least, is our MVP. So who's your MVP of this movie?
I gave it to Derek Kolstad, who's the
Okay.
writer. Um, it was, I mean, the underground world is so cool. The Continental, the gold coins, the unwritten rules, the revoking Perkins' membership when she walks down in Central Park and the dudes just emerge from the columns and shoot her in the head. Like, just it's so dope. This is what the film family mentioned the most as well. Like, this is, yeah, the action's great, but there's a lot of movies with great action. What
Yeah.
sets this apart is all this underground stuff. All the bars hyping up John Wick. I just listed like 12 of them. Like,
Yeah.
he wrote those,
Yeah.
so
No, 100%.
absolutely incredible. And then the action that delivers on the hype. I guess that's not the writer, but just the fact that that's just a nod to the movie. I guess the fact that you can hype this guy up to high heaven and still deliver is super impressive. But like, to me, the world is great. All the bars, like the little jokes were fantastic. Like, the writing in this is awesome.
Yeah, no, well deserved. It's again, we talked so much about just like again like the lore, and a lot of that obviously comes from the writing, and obviously there's a collaboration with just like probably like people bringing in like, oh, I think we should do this, we should do this, but him
Mhm.
just building that foundation and creating this world for us that it's so unique, and having like this element of like where it's I feel like it's this perfect balance, like to even go more to your point, it's like someone goes into an action movie and like we don't get the action right away. Like we get him getting beat up, which I guess is somewhat of action, not really, but
Yeah.
we don't get that action set piece of like John Wick being John Wick for a little bit later. And you can might be maybe people be being patient where it's just like, you know what, like man, I came to see an action movie, like where's the action at kind of thing.
Mhm.
But the way it's written, it's the build up, there's the action, and when we don't get action, you don't get bored because we're getting introduced into this world and everything is about like the lore. So we get these little moments of like these cool things. It's like how do we make the cleanup more interesting? Like how do we make him getting like stitched up or like him going in like all these little code words and all these little things that get added into here, added into the movie when there's not action happening, make you still like invested and intrigued because they're adding more to this lore that's within this like this franchise, and it's so well written. You're not
Yeah.
bored really at any points because it's either it's either he's getting hyped up or there's more elements of the lore where it's like, oh, there's a hotel that they go to that specifically assassins go to, or like, oh, like who's this Perkins person, like who's this person, like, oh, like they even like there's that scene too. I forget the guy's name. Like when he's fighting Perkins outside, and he's like, "Do I know you?" It's like, "Oh,
Harry.
hey, yeah, Harry." He's
Yeah.
like, catch and release situation, catch and
Yeah.
release situation.
That's
Like
what I
that,
mean. Like, they
just
just
these little
know.
moments. Yeah,
Yeah. It's so dope. It all adds to it. You're right. And like, any of the, we talked about like Mission Possible, Bourne, Double Set, like they all have something that sets it apart, because there's tons of action movies,
yeah,
but they all have something that gives it more,
yeah.
right? That's what keeps us bringing back. That's what has us keep coming
Coming
back.
back. Yeah,
And for this one, it's the world, and it's the lore, and it's the jokes and the hype. And to
yeah.
me, that's Derek Kolstad's work,
Vision.
and
Yeah,
that's why I
no,
give him my MVP.
well deserved. I end up going a different route, which again, I think yeah, you definitely give a great MVP, and I actually lean towards that. It's just like I writer director, like there's so many different elements like like stunt
Mhm.
choreographer like this
Keanu.
Keanu, and then I end up giving it to Keanu Reeves. He got
Okay.
my MVP. He did 90% of his own stunts, which I thought was interesting
Yeah.
because I always remember hearing that he did because like when we were talking about like Jackie Chan and Tom Cruise, I was like I'm pretty sure Keanu does a lot of his stunts. Like he's older too, so like you can't do everything. So like some of the things he's like, okay, I'm gonna pass it on to a young buck, and he and he can do it. But he especially for this movie, he said like he trained in judo and Brazilian jiu jitsu, and he did a lot of tactical forearms training for this, or firearms, sorry, training for
Mm.
this. which I thought was really cool. I didn't realize he went to that extent. Like I didn't know he went into like jujitsu and stuff like that. And apparently he helped shape a lot of the character. Like he was involved in developing a lot of the emotional tone and stuff like that. And I'm sure like there's, especially at this point in his career, there's a lot of probably things where he's just like, you know what, like I feel like my character would say this, and like they're gonna like whatever he says, they're probably gonna be like, yeah, you know what, let's go that route. Like he added so much elements to this character, and it didn't get really specifically into details of what, just talked about a lot of like the emotional tone, but it just fits so well. Like him just in that role, in that character, it's believable, it's cool. And I just gave my MVP just because like that's the element of the movie that works so well too. As much as we were talking about like the lore and all that stuff, just like Keanu with the look of like, it's such a different look from Neo too. Like Neo, clean shaven, short hair. John Wick, I don't know if it's almost purposeful. Let's give him a beard, let's give him long hair. Like you want him to be like anything close to how Neo looks, like suited up and everything. And it's just like, it's just such a cool aesthetic. I don't know what it is, but whatever, for whatever reason, it just works. And hey, I don't know. That's why I had to give it to him.
It's a good pick. I mean, it's definitely not undeserved. You know, I went a different route, but that doesn't mean he doesn't also deserve
for sure
the award. I mean, like I said, you could spend all this time hyping up this character, saying how bad he is, how the boogeyman, all this stuff, and then you get to the action and it falls flat, and then what?
Yeah.
And then if you're watching the movie, right, and if the action is no good, then you're like, I don't believe this guy killed 3 dudes with a pencil.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you could say that, but you got to live up to the hype, and it totally does. And a big part of that is in Keanu. Like you said, he did a lot of his own stunts, and you can really tell. I feel like you can very often tell when someone's doing their own stunts because they make it purposeful to show their face while they're doing it. So like, you know, when you have someone that's just the back of their head, then you're like, okay, that's a stunt.
Yeah.
That's a stunt double. Which I mean is okay depending on the actor and what the stunt is. Like sometimes you're like, okay, like when he falls off the balcony, there's like it looks a little bit choppy.
Yeah.
In that sense. And you're like, okay, he obviously didn't do that. But you understand, like he's not just gonna drop off of a fucking balcony.
No, exactly.
So yeah, like it makes the action that much better when we can see his face. He's actually doing the action. I think probably but definitely kind of the stunts that he wasn't doing was a lot of the car stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they'll have the close-ups of him fighting, driving the car, but then when they zoom out and the car is like flipping, and when he's driving around that tarmac and he's like drifting around and drives close to those trucks and slams on the brakes, that's definitely not him in the car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, exactly.
But when it's stuff that we actually want to see his face, he's actually doing it. And it elevates the whole movie. So
yeah, no, 100%. He's dope, man. He's a legend.
And in the emotional scenes, like in the talking scenes, he's great too.
Yeah,
like I said, when he's tied up and he's talking to Viggo and he's like, "No, it's not just a dog. Like it was a chance to grieve on alone." And people keep asking me if I'm back. Yeah. I'm thinking I'm back.
Yeah,
like, are you kidding me?
So
that's
hard,
tough.
That's one of the lines. I almost gave that my quote just because that was one of the lines I remember the most. Like, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. Yeah, it's
crazy.
It's dope. So line. It's almost Batman-esque with the way he talks sometimes.
100%. Where is Lucy?
Yeah, exactly. Where is he? Where is he? I'm thinking I'm back.
I'm thinking
John Wick versus Batman. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. I don't actually know, to be honest. That'd actually be a pretty crazy fight. Batman would be prepared for like 3 years. Yeah. Like he'd prepare that. But maybe John would. I don't know.
The thing that always gets me whenever like it's one of those hypothetical Batman fights is always like he's so keen on like stealth, right?
Yeah.
It's like, would he be able to sneak up on John Wick and just take him out?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
But it's John Wick. It's the Baba Yaga.
Wick. Yeah, that's true.
Baba Yaga.
Yeah, but that's
all right. Well, you got anything else?
No, that's it. No, that's all I got.
All right. Well, thank you for listening. We really appreciate it. Be sure to check us out on socials if you want to be part of the family meeting or just, follow along for some absolutely top tier content. We're on TikTok and Instagram at the Film Room Pod. On YouTube, search Film Room Podcast. Be sure to leave us a review. 5 gold coins.
Yeah.
5 gold coins or 5 stars, I guess.
Yeah, either way.
Can't get access to coins. We'll see you next week for Ballerina. Ana de Armas.
Excited.
We'll see how great that one is. And
I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic. Yeah,
I think so too. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, same.
I think it's going to be good.
And I guess I'm taking it away.
Yeah, take it away. Take it away.
All right, so this one's a little longer because last week I kind of flopped, so I came more prepared with this for my little closer. For my little closer. But and remember, I actually got an email from Spotify saying that we're rising in the charts. So shout out. And they were I responded saying, I was like, yo, perfect. Like we were gonna sneak up on the competition, and they said, well, we send this email to everyone, so like they'll see you coming. And just like John Wick said to Vigo, it won't matter. And peace out.